Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Jai Radha Krishna Chandra Radha Krishna Chandra Radhe. Jai Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Jai Krishna Balaram. Jai Prahlāda Narsimha Prahlāda Narsimha Prahlāda Narsimha Jai Sudarshana. Jai Nitai Gaurango Nitai Gaurango Nitai Gaurango Jai Nitai Gaurango. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Srila Prabhupada. Jai Vishnupada Paramahansa. श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरी गोवर्धन की जय, मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की जय, नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की जय, जगन्नाथपुरी क्षेत्र की जय, गंगा माई यमुना माई की जय, वृंद देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय, श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण चंद्र की जय, श्री श्री कृष्ण बलराम की जय, श्री श्री निताय गौरांग की जय, श्री श्री प्रहलाद नरसिंह देव की जय, श्री श्री सुदर्शन भगवान की जय, हरि नाम संकीर्तन यज्ञ की जय, समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय, all glories to the single devotees, all glories to the single devotees, all glories to the single devotees, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया। यरुन्धन् उद्गलात् बाष्पम् यरुन्धन्नुद्गलद्बाष्पम् औत्कण्ठ्या देवकी सुते और कंठ्या देवकी सुते निर्याति अगारा भद्रम निर्यात्यगारा नो भद्रम इति स्यात् बान्धव स्त्रियः इति स्यात् बान्धव स्त्रियः नरुन्धन्वद्गलद्बाष्पम् औत्कण्ठ्या देवकी सुते यात्यगारा नो भद्रम् इति स्यात् बान्धव स्त्रियः गलद्बाष्पम् औत्कण्ठ्या देवकी सुते निर्यात्यगारन्नो भद्रम् इति Nirundhan, checking with great difficulty. Bhutgalat, overflowing. Bhajpam, tears. Or Kantya, because of great anxiety. Deviki Sute, unto the son of Deviki. Niryati, having come out. Agara, from the palace. Abhadram, inauspiciousness. Iti, thus, syat, may happen. Bandhava, relative. Striyaha, ladies. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Translation. The female relatives, whose eyes were flooded with tears out of anxiety for Krishna, came out of the palace. They could stop their tears only with great difficulty. They feared that tears would cause misfortune at the time of departure. Please repeat. The female relatives, whose eyes were flooded with tears out of anxiety for Krishna, came out of the palace. They could stop their tears only with great difficulty. They feared that tears would cause misfortune at the time of departure. There were hundreds of ladies in the palace of Hastinapura. All of them were affectionate to Krishna. All of them were relatives also. When they saw that Krishna was going away from the palace for his native place, they were very anxious for him, and as usual, tears began to roll down their cheeks. They thought at the same time that tears at the moment might be a cause of misfortune for Krishna. Therefore, they wanted to check them. This was very difficult for them because the tears could not be checked. Therefore, they smeared their tears in their eyes, and their hearts throbbed. Therefore, ladies who were the wives and daughters-in-law of those who died in the battlefield never came in direct contact with Krishna. But all of them heard of him and his great activities, and thus they thought of him, talked of him, his name, fame, etc., and became affectionate also, like those who were in direct contact. Therefore, directly or indirectly, anyone who thinks of Krishna, talks of Krishna, or worships Krishna becomes attached to him. Because Krishna is absolute, there is no difference between his name, form, quality, etc. Our intimate relation with Krishna can be confidentially revived by our talking of, hearing of, or remembering him. It is so done due to spiritual potency. This is the Bhaktivedanta Prabhu. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं Krishna mentions in the ninth chapter of Bhagavad Gita, verse number 1. Idam tu te guhyatamam pravakshyami anasuyave jnanam vijnana sahitam yajyatma mokshase ashubhat. If we want freedom from all the miseries of life, ashubhas, then we have tried enough. Generations have tried, nations have tried, everyone has tried to get freedom from the miseries, but nobody has been able to do so. Rather, the miseries have always compounded. Therefore, we should take care to follow the instructions of Lord Krishna. Otherwise, also, you should be the first person to be approached to seek solutions of problems. But especially when we see no other solution is working, then we should try to see that there is a book which is claimed that it is written by, it is spoken by God Himself. Let me pay attention to the words. So, what solution Lord Krishna is giving? Following of Bhakti Yoga or Buddhi Yoga, the most confidential knowledge. Idam Turte Guhyatamam. Guhyatamam means most confidential. It is not easily known, not easily understood. What is the meaning of confidential? It's very simple. You chant Hare Krishna, not perfection is there, but such knowledge is not revealed that simply by chanting Hare Krishna, we can make our life perfect. Thus Chaitanya Mahaprabhu tells, I could not understand before meeting spiritual master that simply by chanting Hare Krishna, my life can become perfect. This conviction comes only when one takes shelter of a bona fide spiritual master. Otherwise, one keeps on attempting many, many things. Thus, Krishna consciousness is not difficult. But Prabhupada explains, taking to Krishna consciousness is difficult. People do not take to it. The process is very simple, but people do not take to it because it is very confidential. This revelation does not happen. That simply by chanting the name of Krishna, all the inauspiciousness, all the miseries of the life can be finished. This conviction does not develop. This conviction or knowledge, this is given only by the spiritual master. And another feature of this knowledge is Jnanam Vijnana Sahitam. So this knowledge is Vigyan. What is the meaning of Vigyan? Scientific knowledge, or we can have experiments. We can observe the results. That is called Vigyan. So when we follow Krishna consciousness, when we chant nicely, then it is a Vigyan. There should be standard results. That is called science. Under certain conditions, if there is combination of two chemicals, these chemicals will be formed as a result of experiment. This is called science. There is no confusion. There is a standard process, there is standard result. In a similar way, when we follow Krishna consciousness nicely, then there would be standard result. It is science. What is the standard result? So when one matures in Krishna consciousness, one advances, there are 8 kinds of symptoms of ecstasy which are manifest in the body of the devotee. These are called Ashtasattvik Vikayas. This is standard. This is how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu painted in the temple of Jagannath. Sarvam Bhattacharya, who was the head priest, he was able to understand that, oh, this is not ordinary painting. These are the symptoms of ecstasy. He was able to make out. So he was able to make out that these are symptoms of ecstasy. So these are 8 kinds of ecstasy, like it is mentioned here in the verse. Nirandan Udgalat Vajram. There is shedding of tears, and then there is choking of voice, then raising of heads and the skin, goosebumps, shivering of the body, inertia. In this way, there are perspiration. There are 8 symptoms of ecstasy. And if you follow the rules and regulations very nicely, this is the result. Thus, Prabhupada explains one should be very, very eager to attain this position. That should be our aspiration. If the result is not happening, it means there is some mistake in carrying out the experiment. Because that is Vijnana, that is science. If we follow, the result is sure to be attained. So if I am not getting the symptoms of ecstasy, I am not advancing. Before ecstasy, there are other stages. The first stage is anartha-nivritti. And of course, first stage is sabdha and sadhu sangha. But when we make spiritual advancement, real spiritual advancement, by following the rules and regulations, then one should get freedom from all the anarthas, all the unwanted habits. So that is a test of how nicely we are executing the rules and regulations of Krishna consciousness. Because all of us have taken to Bhajan Kriya and Sadhu Sangha, association of devotees we have, and we are doing Bhajan Kriya also. We are carrying out. All of us are almost spending the same amount of time in following the rules and regulations. But all of us, we will get different results depending how nicely we are following the rules and regulations, carrying out the experiment. So how do we understand? This is the test Prabhupada explains. The test will be how far we have got anartha-nivritti, freedom from bad habits, unwanted habits, material desires. They show result. And then nishtha, faith becomes very, very firm, very strong. And then asakti, prema, and then the symptoms of bhava, they manifest. So Prabhupada explains very nicely. Yugayitam nimishena chakshusha pravarshayitam shunyayitam jagat sarvam govinda virahena me. Without seeing Govinda, the whole world is vacant. This is love. Let me try to become Krishna conscious. If it is done, all right. If it is not done, will be back. They will not be able to hear if I do not use. It will happen, but they also should be able to hear. We can do some adjustment from there. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Okay. So Prabhupada explains, Yugayitam nimishena chakshusha pravarshaitam shunyayitam jagat sarvam govinda virahena me. Without seeing Govinda, the whole world is vacant. This is love. Let me try to become Krishna conscious.
If it is done, all right. If it is not done, I shall remain in my position. What is the loss? Correct? Let me follow Krishna consciousness. If I advance, then it is very good. If I do not advance, it is all right. What is the loss? Correct? Prabhupada tells, no, this is not correct. Not like that. One must be so eager that without Krishna consciousness, one should become mad. One should become mad. That is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teaching, separation, not direct contact. So Prabhupada explains, one should not think like this. Okay, I am following rules and regulations. Anyway, these rules are good. Yes, I am getting up in the morning and I am taking bath. Anyway, it will be good for my health. And I'll chant Hare Krishna. My mind will be peaceful. And vegetarian food, anyway, it is good. So what is the loss? So if we think like this, we will never advance in Krishna consciousness. Anyway, I am doing this thing now. One should be very, very eager. Prabhupada explains one should become mad. One should become mad. That is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teaching. One must be so eager that without Krishna consciousness, one should become mad. So thus Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was always, Prabhupada explains, asking his mother, Mother, why Krishna consciousness is not coming about? How to do it? And mother was pacifying that no, it's okay, it will come with time, do not worry. But mother was understanding that he is planning to leave us. And eventually Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very much eager. What do I do to advance in Krishna consciousness? Why is it not happening? What steps should I take? Where am I lacking? He was in great anxiety and mother was pacifying. Do not worry, you will advance. So Prabhupada explains, in this way one should be very, very eager. Why am I not advancing? So in this way, when I become very eager, then of course there is other side to it also. Some devotees, they artificially develop these symptoms directly. If you follow Krishna consciousness, yes, the symptoms will be manifest. The shedding of tears and the trembling of the body, chanting the names of Krishna. So these symptoms will be manifest. But some devotees, they directly go and they start imitating the symptoms. And that is called Sahajiya. What is the meaning of Sahajiya? Sahaj means easy. So taking spiritual life, very easy. Okay, if you shed some tears in front of Krishna, then you are very advanced devotee. So somehow if I am able to shed tears, then I become very advanced. So they practice shedding of tears. So by practice also it is possible. You go in front of altar and you practice. By practice, the actors, actresses also shed tears. So by practice, anyone can shed tears. So some people are anyway emotional. So thus we have to be careful. Sometimes we also can fall into this trap. Oh, I am getting tears in front of Krishna. I am advancing in my life, my spiritual life. I am very much advanced. But Prabhupada explains very kindly here. When Lord Chaitanya met Sri Ramanand Rai of Kavur on the bank of the Godavari, the Lord developed all these symptoms. But because of the presence of some non-devotee Brahmanas who were attendants of the Rai, the Lord suppressed these symptoms. So sometimes they are not visible even in the body of the first-class devotee for certain circumstantial reasons. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the manifestation of ecstasy. The topmost ecstasies which cannot be displayed by living entities also, yes, they can feel ecstasy, but they have certain capacity. In certain limit, they can show ecstasy. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his Supreme Lord, ecstasy like him cannot be felt by anybody else. We can never feel the same amount of ecstasy which he is feeling. But even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was not always displaying these ecstatic symptoms. Why he was not displaying? Due to circumstantial reasons. One such reason is explained here. Some Brahmanas were there who were not advanced in devotional service. So they will not be able to figure out what is happening. So he suppressed. So how shall we understand who is spiritually advanced? Therefore, real steady bhava is definitely displayed in the matter of cessation of material desires, that is called Kshanti. Utilization of every moment in the transcendental loving service of the Lord, Avyartha Kalatvam, eagerness for glorifying the Lord constantly, Namagane Sada Ruchi, attraction for living in the land of the Lord, Priti Stad Vasati Sthale, complete detachment from material happiness, Virakti, and pridelessness, Man Shunyata. One who has developed all these transcendental qualities is really possessed of the bhava stage, as distinguished from the stone-hearted imitator or mundane devotee. So the external symptoms might not be manifest, but still we can understand how much we are advancing by these real symptoms, which are always present in the heart. Which are those symptoms? Cessation of all material desires. A person who has got advanced stage of spiritual life, one will not have any material desire. That is called Shanti. Nothing. I don't have to attain anything in this material world. It is enough. And then Avyartha Kalatvam. Not even a moment should go wasted without serving Krishna. Devotee is very eager to see whether this moment I have engaged myself in service of Krishna or not. Trying to work harder and harder for Krishna. Avyartha Kalatvam. Then Namagane Sada Ruchi, eagerness for glorifying the Lord constantly. Not just glorifying constantly, that also can be imitated. Somebody could, by practice, come to the platform of constant chanting. But such constant chanting also is not display of real advancement of spiritual life. By practice, one can come to the stage of chanting the names. But Ruchi, with Ruchi, eagerness to chant, that may not come about. One may chant always, but with pleasure, with eagerness, one will not be able to chant. So Nama Gane Sada Ruchi, one is always eager to chant the name. Priti Stad Vasati Sthale, attraction for living in the land of the Lord. One will be very, very eager. So thus the devotee might be anywhere, living in any part of the world, but heart is always there in Vrindavan, always thinking of the abode of the Supreme Lord. And one has got great attraction to live in such a place. Of course, for the service of the Lord, one is willing to go away also from that place. But there is strong, just like people like to stay with the family. But for the service of family, they go away from home and they work. But there is great taste for living at home. Similarly, one has got great taste for living in Dham, in the holy Dham. And for the service of the Dham, one can of course go away. And complete detachment from material happiness, virakti. Complete detachment. One is thoroughly convinced this material happiness has given me troubles life after life. Now I do not want any material happiness, virakti. Complete detachment. And pridelessness, man shunyata. One is not offended in any situation, in any case. We take offenses only because of pride. How they can tell like this to me? How it can happen? Or we try to show off to others, maintain status quo in society only because of this pride. Then a devotee becomes free. When there is man shunyata, one becomes very, very humble. Then one is free. One need not work hard to show off. One does not get offended by anybody. Pridelessness, man shunyata. One who has developed all these transcendental qualities is really possessed of the bhava stage, as distinguished from the stone-hearted imitator or mundane devotee. The whole process can be summarized as follows. The advanced devotee, now here Prabhupada mentions another important thing. The advanced devotee who chants the holy name of the Lord in a perfectly offenseless manner and is friendly to everyone can actually relish the transcendental taste of glorifying the Lord. So if the symptoms are not being manifest, it means we are committing 10 offenses against the holy name. So here it is told, advanced devotee who chants the holy name of the Lord in perfectly offenseless manner, and one more quality is required. What is that quality? Is friendly to all living entities. Who chants holy name of Lord in a perfectly offenseless manner and is friendly to everyone can actually relish the transcendental taste of glorifying the Lord. So this being friendly is very, very important. Thus a devotee has got, it is called Ajata Shatru. His enemy has not taken birth. Somebody can harbor animosity for the devotee, but devotee does not harbor animosity for anyone. So enemy of a devotee has not taken birth. Devotee is always very, very friendly to every living entity. So thus, if I am dissatisfied with anybody, with any living entity, that means we are having envy in our heart. And the result of such realization is reflected in the cessation of material desires. As mentioned above, the neophytes, due to their being in the lower stage of devotional service, are invariably envious. However, at the neophyte stage, it is not possible to come out of this stage of envy. We will be envious. So, Kanishtadhikari, as we have discussed, what is Kanishtadhikari? Brahmanical qualifications, very nicely situated. Mind, senses are controlled, doing deity worship nicely, cleanliness, scholarship, knowing the Vedas, all the qualities will be there. But as long as one is Kanishtadhikari, one does not know how to preach, how to behave well with others, especially with the devotees. So on this platform, invariably enviousness will be there on this lower platform. Are invariably envious, so much so that they invent their own ways and means of devotional regulations without following the acharyas. So why a person remains neophyte? Why he does not go to a second platform? Because he does not follow the acharyas. If one follows, one will come to Madhyamadhikari platform, that is called initiation. But why one does not take initiation? Because one is envious of the acharyas also. I don't want to surrender. I want to remain in my position. This is called envy. We don't follow anybody. When devotees would ask sometimes, Prabhupada, why do we do this? Why do we do that? So Prabhupada tells, there is no question of why. It is matter of love. In love, the acharyas have told us to do, so we follow. There is no question of why. So if anybody tells you to do anything, whom you love, we will carry out. We'll not tell why this, why that. Whatever they tell, we carry out. Similarly, acharyas have told us to do this, so we carry out. We don't ask why this, why that. Because acharya has told us, so we are doing it. So in this way, devotee is very, very eager to carry out all the rules and regulations. But as long as we do not surrender completely, we remain on the neophyte platform. Why? Because of envy. When there is envy, there is no submission. There is no surrender. And then what happens? They invent their own ways and means of devotional regulations without following the acharyas. As such, even if they make a show of constantly chanting the holy name of the Lord, they cannot, Prabhupada is mentioning here, as such, even if they make a show of constantly chanting the holy name of the Lord, they cannot relish the transcendental taste of the holy name. So you'll find some people who are chanting, but that is a show only of chanting. Constantly they can chant, but they cannot relish. They cannot relish the transcendental taste of the holy name. Therefore, the show of tears in the eyes, trembling, perspiration, or unconsciousness, etc., is condemned. They can, however, get in touch with a pure devotee of the Lord and rectify their bad habits. Otherwise, they shall continue to be stone-hearted and unfit for any treatment. A complete progressive march on the return path home back to Godhead will depend on the instructions of the revealed scriptures directed by a realized devotee. So that is why there is shloka. We have discussed many times. Shushusho Shaddhadanasya Vasudev Katharuchi Syat Mahassevaya Vipra Punya Tirtha Nisheb. By Mahassevaya, by serving the pure devotee, these symptoms are manifest. Because if we are not serving pure devotee, means there is enviousness in the heart. So that is why serving devotee, this is in continuation of the verse which Prabhupada quotes many times. Aradhananam sarvesham Vishnu aradhanam param. Among all the worships, worship of Lord Vishnu is supreme. Better than that is worship of devotee. And further, Lord Shiva tells one who does not worship devotee is very proud. He cannot make any advancement. No, not devotee. I'll worship Supreme Lord only. That is called pride. No, one should find a devotee and become servant of, rather servant of devotee. So in this way, only when we serve Mahasevaya, pure devotees, great devotees, then one is able to develop taste or rati. Yat sevaya bhagavata kūtasthasya madudvishah ratiraso bhavet tivrah padayor vyasanardanah. By serving the feet of the spiritual master, yat sevaya, one is enabled to develop transcendental ecstasy in the service of the personality of Godhead. Bhagavatah madudvisha ratiraso bhavet tivrah. Ratiraso bhavet tivra, intense ecstasy is awakened. How? Yat sevaya, by serving the feet of the spiritual master, who is the unchangeable enemy of the Madhu demon and whose service vanquishes one's material distresses. Vyasanardanaha. So all the material distresses are finished by the service of the spiritual master. So that is why this is the clue, this is the secret, how to advance in spiritual life. By serving the spiritual master very, very nicely without any envy. One should try to submit completely. One should not be envious of the spiritual master. And as soon as we come out of this envy, there will be advancement. So service again is not external. Service depends on consciousness. That is why we are discussing in the last class. That devotee was asking Prabhupada, Tadiyanam Samarchanam, worshipping devotees better than worshipping Krishna. So those who are worshipping Lord Shiva, that means that is better. But we don't see that they are advancing, correct? So many people who go to Lord Shiva's temple, they should be more advanced, no, than those who go to Krishna's temple. Because they are worshipping devotee, and that is better worship. Similarly, those who go to Kamakhya Devi or Durga temple, Kali temple, Devi temple, they should be more advanced because they are doing better worship than Vishnu or Aradhanam. So they should be more advanced in their life, correct? They should become more sattvic, anartha nivritti should happen faster for them. Love of God should develop faster for them. Detachment from material world should happen faster to them. But why it does not come about? Those who worship Ganesha, so much they worship Ganesha, they should become more advanced. But why they don't advance? They are all devotees. Ganesha, Mother Parvati, Durga, Lord Shiva. But why their devotees are not able to get free from material distresses? So much material trouble. Yes, they will get immediate material benefits because that duty is assigned to them. But they don't get result from material distresses. Why? Because devotional service depends upon consciousness. They are not consciously worshipping them as devotees. So when it is mentioned Tadiyanam Samarchanam, it means one should consciously worship the pure devotee. Understand that here I am worshipping a pure devotee of Krishna. And this is the only way of satisfying Krishna. So that is why consciousness is important. If they do not know that Lord Shiva is the topmost devotee and they worship, then they will not advance in spiritual life. Material desires will be fulfilled. But consciously, if they are doing it, then yes, such a worship is very, very powerful. Then they advance very fast. So therefore, a pure devotee should be consciously served. So this consciousness is important. That is why it is told, Ma Manusmar. Devotional service means not just service, not just using our hands and legs, but Ma Manusmar. If we are doing any activity for anybody, we will always be thinking of that person. Therefore, constant thought of lotus feet of spiritual master. I am doing this service for the pleasure of spiritual master, for the pleasure of spiritual master. This thought should be there. Always conscious of the spiritual master, conscious of the position of the spiritual master. Then we'll make advancement. If there is no consciousness, just we are doing service, that is also good. One day we'll come to the platform, but real advancement happens when we are consciously serving a pure devotee of Krishna, understanding that he is pure devotee. So one should be very, very eager to render this service. Eagerness is required. If I think, okay, yes, Prabhupada does that also. If you follow Krishna consciousness, what is the loss? That is for the atheists who do not have belief. That what is the loss? We are having a healthy life. We are materially also having a very good life. Financially also we are able to maintain ourselves very nicely. We are having limited demands. So in every way, the devotee's life is successful. But this should not be our attitude. Our attitude should be, no, when will I advance? One should be very like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, very, very eager. What do I do? What do I do to advance in my spiritual life? In this way, when we are very, very eager, then that is the only price we pay for Krishna consciousness. Thus, Prabhupada tells the story. The thief who came across a Bhagavat Katha. So the description was being given of Lord Krishna, how he's going to jungle every day with his cows and calves. And then he's decorated so beautifully by Mother Yashoda. And various very, very expensive ornaments he's wearing. So the thief, he thought, oh, this boy comes to jungle every day. He is having so many ornaments. So let me somehow try to rob him. And then I'll become very rich overnight. Because children do not wear such expensive ornaments. So if I'm somehow able to nab this child and take his ornaments, then I'll be very, very rich. So he became very eager. He was waiting in the jungle. When this child will come, then I'll catch him and I'll steal all his. He's became very, very eager. And because he was so eager, he saw Krishna. Krishna came. And then he told, give me these ornaments. Krishna says, no, mother will scold me if I give. I cannot give it to you. But then anyway, he wanted. Then in this way, by association of Krishna, he became purified. Then Krishna gave, okay, you take. And then he fell at the feet. No, my dear Lord, I do not want. He became a pure devotee. So thus, because somehow or other, he became very, very eager to see Krishna. There is the price. Tatra lolyam api mulyam ekam janma koti sukritirna labhyate. One should become very, very eager. Without this eagerness, Krishna consciousness will not come about. One should not remain satisfied simply by following the rules and regulations. It is as good as going to school without any desire to score marks or get placed. One will never score. One is satisfied simply by sitting in the school, packing the bag, and coming out. In a similar way, he is continuing for years together. No knowledge will come, no marks will come, nothing. One should be very, very eager. Then it will be effective. Then one will be attentive. One will hear. One will take notes, try to understand, question, revise, learn, relearn. So very strong desire, strong eagerness is required. And then even without direct contact, simply by hearing, just like these women, they had no chance to contact Krishna directly. They went on the top of their palaces, but they are displaying the same ecstatic symptoms which the Pandavas are displaying, who are constant companions of the Lord. Because the Lord is absolute, there is no difference between him, his name, form, service, etc. So simply by hearing about Krishna, the name of Krishna, which is not different from Krishna, one can attain the same ecstatic symptoms, which are attained by devotees who are having direct companionship with the Lord. So by hearing, by chanting, by serving Krishna, one can attain the same status. But the condition is one should be very, very eager to attain this advanced stage of spiritual life. And with eagerness, we'll attain this. We'll finish here. Any questions? Yes. Sorry? Hmm. Yes. 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 So the question is, thief was eager to see Krishna and Kansa also was eager to see Krishna. So what is the difference? So there is no difference. Both of them, they attain Krishna consciousness. Kansa also became Krishna, his spiritual life became perfect without following any yoga, any meditation, any process. any process of self control, sense control. So that is why one should be very, very eager to see Krishna somehow or other. Then spiritual life will be perfect. Kansa also got liberated. He also got liberated. Kansa got also personal liberation, in fact. But usually demons do not get personal liberation because, again, the spiritual result will be same in the sense they'll get delivered, but the demon does not desire to serve Krishna. So Krishna will not enforce his service. But in special cases, yes, the demons also get personal liberation. But emancipation, spiritual success is guaranteed somehow or other if a devotee become, if a person becomes very, very eager to see Krishna. Yeah. Yes. Hmm. 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 Question is, understanding envy of Krishna is easy. Krishna is enjoyer. I want to enjoy. That is why I have come here. This is called envy. Why Krishna should enjoy. I am the enjoyer. But how do we understand our enviousness of pure devotee? So our enviousness of the pure devotee can be understood in this way that if we are envious of Krishna, then we are envious of everyone because everyone is part and parcel of Krishna. So that is why we see materialists, they are envious of everyone. They cannot see any living entity progressing more than them. That is why there is a lot of stress in the society. What is stress? Stress is nothing but envy. Correct? What is stress? Envy. All of us are part and parcels of Krishna. We are brothers. We are children of same father. But my brother should not advance more than me. I want to defeat my brother. This is called envy. So that is why materialist is envious of everybody. And this is called stress. I cannot see anybody advancing more than me. In a similar way, we are envious of pure devotee also. I do not want to follow anybody. I want to follow myself. Mm. So, what is the question? Why we are not able to relish? Yes, yes, yes. Us and Sahajiya. So the question is, when we also chant constantly, we are not able to relish. Sahajiya is also chanting constantly, he cannot relish. What is the difference between us? So first thing is, we are not able to chant constantly. If we chant constantly, we follow it under direction of spiritual master, offenseless chanting would result. So it is not easy. But Sahajiyas are able to attain this platform of constant chanting, but still they are not able to relish. So we are on the way to relish. If we follow, we'll mature to the degree we advance in spiritual life, to the extent we are free from anarthas, bad habits, to that extent we'll be able to relish the holy name. But a Sahajiya will never be able to relish the holy name, even though they are how much ever 24 hours they are able to chant. So question is, if they are chanting, holy name will have some effect on them. So the answer is yes. So if they continue, that is why it is told Sahajiyas are better than impersonalists because they are imitating a devotee. So imitating means they will be given chance to become a devotee in next life or in this life. So when these Sahajiyas also come in contact with a pure devotee, then they are able to advance. Question is, how do we understand somebody who is chanting Hare Krishna mantra? If he is a non-devotee, then we are told we should not hear from them. It becomes polluted. So how somebody is able to pollute the name of Lord? Name of the Lord and Lord is not different. How somebody is able to pollute the name? Because that name is not the name of the Lord. It looks like the name of the Lord. Just like Lord has got certain form. Somebody can imitate that form, yes. So if somebody is able to attain the same features like that of the Supreme Lord, does he become Supreme Lord? No, he's looking like Supreme Lord, but he's not Supreme Lord. In a similar way, one can produce sound which imitates the vibration of the holy name, but that is simply imitation. Just like there is imitation in form, there is imitation in sound also. Just like there is gulf of difference between the potency of imitative form and the real form of the Lord. Similarly, there is gulf of difference between the imitation Hare Krishna and the real sound vibration of Hare Krishna. So thus when non-devotee chants, that is not Krishna's name. That is imitation of Krishna's name. And that sound is simply made up of three modes of nature. And three modes means contamination. How do we distinguish? So that is why we don't see saints or spiritual master through the eyes. We hear them from, we see them from ears. So one should be very, very cautious to ascertain, first of all, whether this speaker, he belongs to any bona fide sampradaya or not, disciplic succession or not, whom I am hearing, whether he is authorized by his spiritual master or not, and whether he's talking the same thing what Krishna talks or not. In this way, when it is ascertained, oh, he comes in parampara, he is authorized by his spiritual master, and he is repeating the words of Krishna, then only we should hear from him. Otherwise, one should abstain from such hearing. Being eager. So question is, we repeatedly discuss and discussed in the past, we have to become very eager. That is the only price and qualification. How to develop that eagerness? So that is why Prabhupada has given us this entire process. This entire process, what we follow in Krishna consciousness, is nothing but to develop that eagerness. And this eagerness is very natural for us, just like it is natural for the women in Hastinapur. This eagerness is very, very natural to the living entity. Eagerness to eat is natural to living entity in a healthy condition. In unhealthy condition, this hunger is suppressed. We are not eager to eat. We cannot eat at all. No taste in eating. So in order to bring a sick man to healthy state, doctor recommends medicine, recommends diet, some rules, regulations to be followed. If the patient follows that, one will become fit and he will start feeling very strong hunger. In a similar way, one should follow all the rules and regulations very nicely. Then Prabhupada tells strong eagerness to have Krishna will come out. So one should follow the rules and regulations very, very strictly and with a desire to revive that eagerness. Not simply following the rules, going to school, coming back, and hoping I'll become topper in this way. It will never happen. So following the rules and regulations, which with tremendous desire, tremendous eagerness, I should become perfect. I should recover my spiritual health. So the question is, one senior disciple of Prabhupada, she heard this Hare Krishna Mahamantra from a person who was apparently non-devotee, and she relished this Hare Krishna. So how can it happen that she is able to do it? So the non-devotees Prabhupada mentions, they also relish the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, but this is far different from the real ecstasy which results from chanting Hare Krishna. Everyone can relish. That is why so many people play bhajans and they dance, they sing, no? Famous singer is there who cries again. But Sahajiya, after bhajan, he needs cigarette. Cigarette, eggs, wine, and whiskey. And he's most famous singer of the country. And people feel so-called ecstasy listening to his bhajans, but this is on a different platform. Yes, who was asking? So there are various kinds of ecstasies which we are not aware. Like when we were also doing bhajan, singing and chanting before coming to Krishna consciousness, and we were experiencing great ecstasy there also in bhajans. One will get completely absorbed in a different state, but that is all on mental platform. We do not know this mental platform which results from practicing meditations and otherwise also. So you don't take shelter of a spiritual master, you chant, but still you can attain very, just like by drinking, you get mental high, happiness. In a similar way, bhajans, kirtans, other so-called processes, pranayam and spiritual practices, they also, if properly performed, are able to take you to that platform. They give you some pleasure, but that is far, far inferior and different from the real pleasure of chanting Hare Krishna. What is our situation? Krishna mentions, Yesham tu antagatam papam jananam punya karmanam. Those who are freed from all the paths, sinful life, they take to Krishna consciousness. So we have taken up Krishna consciousness, or we are yet to take up Krishna consciousness? So Krishna consciousness is of various degrees. So here when Prabhupada talks of Yesham tu antagatam papam jananam punya karmanam, so this is real Krishna consciousness that begins with complete surrender. Te dvandva moho nirmukta. One is completely freed from dvandva, from all confusions and doubts. No doubts are there. One is thoroughly convinced. Dvandva moho nirmukta bhajante mam dhridavritaha. And with great determination, such a person surrenders to Krishna. This is called real platform. This is called Madhyamadhikari, advanced platform. This means our initiation has actually happened. When one is able to follow the rules and regulations very, very rigidly with great determination. And that will happen andagatam papam, when we are freed from all the sinful activities. And all the doubts will be removed, vanquished. Then the real spiritual life begins. So we have begun, most of us are spiritualized, some of us. Real spiritual life also could have begun. That depends on us. It is not external thing that we have to take saffron, white, have shikha, or sit in the fire yajna. No. It is a spiritual activity. As soon as the living entity, and otherwise also, if a living entity surrenders to Krishna, one immediately becomes freed from Sardharman Paritaham Tvam Sar Papebhyo Mokshayishyami. As soon as one surrenders, one again becomes freed from. So either way, one has to wait to become free from the sinful life, then one will be able to surrender to Krishna. Or if one surrenders to Krishna, one decides, then one becomes freed from the sinful actions. So both the ways. So we have to judge for ourselves. Am I completely surrendered to Krishna? Am I thoroughly convinced my only duty in this life is to serve Krishna and nothing else? And with great determination, I am following, my sinful life has stopped. That means real KC has begun. so we can test for ourselves. Online?
They can't glorify them. Then why do we don't why are we not encouraging people to read Prabhupada and Ramana?
Question is, unless we know somebody unless we know somebody nicely, we cannot glorify. So why we are not encouraging people to read Lilamrita? We are encouraging, we should read.
So it's out and understanding the faith. Why does this happen?
While doing our services, mind cheats. We get doubts. Why does this happen? Because we do not follow the rules and regulations. If you do not follow, then doubts will remain.
See, there, but sometimes I think it's a great that like every time it's to be in the mood that Krishna will see us. What will be the right hand of it for everybody?
So, good question. So, we are trying to generate eagerness. So, how to exactly develop this eagerness in Mangalarti? What should I do? Prabhupada tells, I'm very eager. By this, you can get eagerness? No. Janma koti sukritirna labhyate. Such eagerness is not awakened by many, many lifetimes of Sukriti. So, how this eagerness we just discussed, follow the rules and regulations very nicely. So, we don't follow the rules and regulations. So, simple rules and regulations are there. First rule regulation is sadhu sangha, that we should live in the association of devotees. Otherwise, it is not possible. We develop habits, our eagerness basis. What association we get? We have sangha sanjayate kama. If we live with people who are eager to have material success in life, we'll become eager for material success, material enjoyment. So without living with devotees, it is not possible. This is the first rule. Everything follows later. And then our morning program, evening program being very rigid, four regulative principles, especially brahmacharya, we are not able to follow. Chanting good quality 16 rounds, we are not able to follow. So basic rules and regulations are there. If you follow, then this eagerness, serving the spiritual master, working very hard for preaching. So if you follow these basic things, then this eagerness will come about. So we should be very, very eager to follow the rules and regulations very nicely, very eager to serve the spiritual master, work hard to carry out his instructions. And then we should not be eager to manifest the symptoms. Symptoms will come without working for them. We should be eager to follow the rules and regulations. Yes, who was raising hand? Anarthas only?
Orange plate and comes with we take too much time and we reach the Balaji Manani before after the order. Even that or just the problem
So the question is, what is anartha? If we are late in Manglarti, that is also called anartha, or some good qualities. So anartha means anything which is not wanted. Any activity in which Krishna is not pleased, that activity is called anartha. So definitely if we are coming late, that is laziness, that is anartha, that should be given up. So punctuality and promptness, cleanliness, Prabhupada tells, these things are most important for DT worship. Promptness should be there, not that one is forcing. One should promptly think, I should serve Krishna in this way, offer this to Krishna, decorate in this way to Krishna. So this is very much required. One should promptly serve Krishna, not by force. Then cleanliness should be there and punctuality also should be there. These are very important things for deity worship. So definitely, being late is anartha. That should be. So any activity in which pleasure of Krishna is not there, that is anartha. That should be given up. All the activity should be only for the pleasure of Krishna and spiritual master. Pardon? Yes. 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 Hmm. Yes. Hmm. Hmm. Question is, we tell in Kali Yuga there is no other yajna possible, and all the activity should be done only for yajna or sacrifice, otherwise lokoyam karma bandhana. We are entangled in the laws of karma. But then when we do marriage ceremony in India, we kindle fire and then we circumambulate it and then we do some offerings. We do yajna. So is it all useless without Sankirtan yajna? So answer is yes. All these activities are completely useless because it is not possible. Where are Brahmanas? That Brahmana is, just look at his character, who is doing that thing. Less than Shudra, Prabhupada explains. So what is the efficacy of such yajnas? So that is why in Kali Yuga, reporter asked Prabhupada, how do you do marriage ceremony? Prabhupada says, Hare Krishna. That is I think somebody disciple asked Prabhupada, why this fire sacrifice? So Prabhupada told to make you serious. Okay, something has happened. Otherwise, so we don't take Sankirtan seriously, isn't it? No, something should happen. Chant some mantra, throw something. Smoke should be there. Some decoration should be there. Otherwise, what puja? We don't take seriously. We have preconceived notion of this thing. Nobody takes Sankirtan seriously. No, Sankirtan is sufficient activity. All the rituals, all the sanskaras, Sankirtan is sufficient. For Garbhadan, chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. For name giving, chant Hare Krishna. For birth, chant Hare Krishna. For death, Hare Krishna. For marriage, also Hare Krishna. Always. Yeah. Chant Hare Krishna. Divorce ceremony is not mentioned. It is not a sanskar. Yes, you can live separately if they are not favorable for Krishna consciousness. But divorce means prostitution. I want to enjoy with another partner. I'll get freedom. So this is not encouraged. Yes, if somehow we are not able to go together, live separately. Worst case. But divorce is not recommended. So anyway, so whatever it is in Kali Yuga, such things will happen. So everything, everywhere. But still, as a matter of duty, if we don't discourage people, because anyway they will not follow, we tell them to add Sankirtan. There is no loss. So we request, please add Sankirtan. Otherwise, there is no use. We'll finish. Grantara Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki